Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning.
Number 1. What exactly caused Thomas's skin condition? And
Mama, you get over there and hold on Commodity.
Why?
Because he ain't gonna like this much, that's why.
Number 2. Did the meatpacking plant cause it? Or did Thomas cause the disease at the meatpacking plant? And who is documenting all of this? There's a reason I chose to start here. Partly because it just makes sense to go in order so it's linear, this being a prequel and all, but mainly because this film just takes a sledgehammer to the most iconic and scariest pieces of the 2003 remake. And that's the element of mystique. There's one scene in the remake that carries a really significant piece of history with it, and this prequel wastes absolutely no time just retconning it. I mean from the very beginning. I'll play that clip from the 2003 remake right here.
This is the only known image of Thomas Hewitt, the man they call Leatherface.
So that's the only known picture of Thomas Hewitt, huh? No, it's not. If that's the case, why does this film show us his entire childhood documented with paperwork and pictures? What? And don't think I'm knocking the film because I do enjoy both of these installments. But consistency is important, you know? Now let's explore these pictures and documents. Let's break down the entire timeline of Thomas and how his disease came into play. In August 1939, in Lee Bros slaughterhouse and meatpacking plant in Texas, a woman died giving birth to Leatherface. This asshole supervisor just throws the baby in the dumpster. Like damn, man. But luckily, Luda was there to rescue him from that foul place and that monster. Which, very ironically, Leatherface would grow up to work at and work under the supervision of the same person that tried to send him to his death at birth. We'll get to that in a minute. This ties directly into one of the mysteries that we're talking about. Because who exactly is documenting all of this? Even from an early age, there are toddler photos of Thomas on file, and medical notes explicitly stating he was born with a flesh-eating birth defect. So clearly, there's a full medical history on Thomas, which paints a very different picture from the 2003 film, which leads the audience to believe that he's just an off-the-grid ghost. Almost like he never existed, he's a legend. Apparently not. By age 6, the disease had gotten so bad that he had tendencies towards self-mutilation. Essentially, Leatherface started cutting his fucking face off. By the age of 9, he started to find roadkill animals and he used their hide to wear as a face. Leatherface eventually becomes so consumed by this self-hatred, he starts burning his own family photos of himself. And finally, at the age of 12, he discovers the infamous chainsaw. And if we isolate the audio here, we can hear that Charlie, aka Hoyt, sends him to work at the slaughterhouse.
Don't worry about it, Tommy. You don't have to put Birdie to work down the slaughterhouse.
Now this is where things get really interesting. June 9th, 1967. Texas has a second dust bowl and severe drought causing the cattle to become malnourished and die off. But then a different kind of disease spreads over the next 2 years, and now the town is in shambles. The Texas Department of Health steps in, and the Lee Bros slaughterhouse and meatpacking plant was closed for good due to serious disease spreading throughout the cattle. March 9th, 1968, it causes the entire Texas town to die out. July 1969, Leatherface is fired from his job.
We close for good now.
Shut down the place today. You know that because I done told you. Shutting down for good?
Because it's finally closed for good by the Texas Health Department. Disease is a huge factor in this film. It's really a subplot that goes way beyond just the cattle. Leatherface himself is labeled as a disease outcast that everybody just frowns upon.
What's that disease freak still doing out here?
Even the outsiders passing through this town state the worry of disease.
Eric, the only thing you're gonna catch in this water is disease.
My biggest question here that if the slaughterhouse knew that Leatherface was diseased, and when he started working there, the cattle started getting diseased, I'm not sure if it was the best idea for a man with a flesh-eating disease to handle raw meat that's given out to the public. Look at this place. Look at him. He doesn't have the best hygiene. Do I think they have something to do with each other? Yeah, I do. Maybe it's not explicitly stated, but I also don't think it's coincidence that the film tells us that the disease in Leatherface and the disease in the cattle run in parallel. So what do you think? Is there some kind of cause and effect with this whole disease ordeal? And who was documenting all of this? Including Leatherface's entire medical history up until the point that he was at least 12 years old. Yet the next film directly contradicts all of that. Wait, do you think I can make a music video out of her voice? How did Charlie successfully impersonate Travis County Sheriff Hoyt for years? And why is this body still here? Did the original Hoyt not have any common sense to call anybody? Hear me out on this one. I can believe that Charlie killed Hoyt and took on the sheriff persona and impersonated him for the next 4 years. But then again, there are some things that just don't simply add up, because the film contradicts its own explanation. Let's just start from the beginning. If you don't know by now, Charlie's a little cuckoo. He has some problems.
Amen. Oh, hell no.
He's really rough around the edges, probably because he was a POW in the Korean War.
Back in 1952, Korean War, yours truly was a POW.
And based off what he tells Dean, he has resorted to cannibalism before in order to survive.
You got captured, you had two choices. Starve to death or survive.
So he's no stranger to death and violence. So when Leatherface snaps and kills that slaughterhouse boss, you know, the one that threw him in the dumpster 30 years ago, it doesn't surprise me he would protect his own at all cost.
He ain't retarded. He's misunderstood. I think we got a problem, Sheriff.
But before the original Hoyt gets JFK'd, he says some pretty interesting things to note here.
No more jobs, no more money, no more food, and I'm the last bit of law enforcement that's left.
So there's no more jobs in the town, and there's no other law enforcement in Travis County besides yourself, and you're leaving next week. What? That's nonsense. Of course there is. Luda May works at the general store, where people regularly pass through. There's a Budget Inn motel. There's no other law enforcement besides him?
Shit, I just killed the whole fucking sheriff's department.
Wrong. We see a highway patrol car at the end of the movie. And since the original Hoyt was the last law enforcement of Travis County, this means that this is most likely a state trooper, which makes me question how Charlie was so successful as Hoyt for the next 4 years, with at least 33 confirmed victims.
From 1969 to 1973, 33 people across the state of Texas.
I feel like Route 17 North would have been visited by state police, the FBI, because all these missing persons are just unaccounted for.
It's a matter of time now before this town's overrun by bikers and hippies.
All these victims took the same road. But let's go back to Charlie posing as Hoyt. It's one thing to impersonate the last remaining officer of local territory, but when state police start getting killed and go missing, you know what I mean? The big boys are going to come around and start sniffing around. So that means other law enforcement does exist. Somebody is still patrolling these roads, not just Big Daddy Hoyt. There had to have been at least one police report filed. 33 missing victims. A missing state police officer. And maybe somebody just looked at Hoyt and just said, you don't belong here. And perhaps they were just extremely lucky with the circumstances, but make your mind up, film. So when the original Hoyt rolled up to the crime scene at the slaughterhouse, he didn't notify anybody, backup, a coroner, an ambulance, no dispatch, no radio log, nothing? No calls to state police about this matter? He's moving to Michigan in a week.
Hell, I'm moving to Michigan next week.
He won't be there to continue the investigation. It just doesn't make any sense. Plus, Charlie, aka the new Hoyt, finds it suitable to hide vehicles, dispose of bodies by eating them, but doesn't bother to move the one body the last remaining law enforcement was already investigating. What the fuck? Number 6. Rapid fire round. I'm not the smartest man in the world, but this looks like a Smith & Wesson 357, probably a 5.86. That wasn't introduced into the 80s. This film was set in 1969. Props, what are you doing? Speaking of holding, why didn't Chrissy just run back and get his bike? Where did he leave it? She's already made that walk twice. What's the third time? Dean sure is running good for a guy who had his foot in a bear trap all night. Doesn't this look exactly like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre house? That's crazy. Well, Monty, I guess you're not towing any more cars, huh? Human meat in the fridge. Ugh. Number 7. Why are Dean and Bailey going to Mexico? How exactly is this a good plan? And about the draft. December 1st, 1969. The draft makes headlines. Now, I'm pretty sure the draft was already happening before this. So when the film says the draft is reinstated, I think what they actually mean is that December 1st would have to be the draft lottery that decided what order the men would go up in 1970. Again, this film takes place in July 1969, but the wording in this film makes it sound like Dean is dodging the draft system that doesn't technically exist yet. which is a little confusing, but that's neither here or there. That's not really important. Vietnam had already been going on for almost 15 years at this point. So Eric and his brother Dean are driving across Texas to ship off to war. But Dean and his girlfriend Bailey have different plans. They're going to Mexico. And I genuinely don't know why Mexico. Because they're stacking the odds against themselves. Mexico and the United States had already had arrangements for extradition way before 1969. So if Dean got across the border and got caught, he would just be extradited back and possibly jailed, based on the circumstances. I'm surprised the plan was that Canada. Draft evasion wasn't treated as an extraditable offense the same way it was in Mexico. And Canada was actively allowing US war resistors to stay if they enter the right immigration channels. Dean is already pushing his luck by just running. So if you're willing to just abandon your country, leave everything behind, and potentially spend the next few decades, if not your whole entire life, hiding in another country, why half-ass it? Go all in. Take the safe route. I don't know, to me this plan just seemed half-baked from the start. Maybe Mexico was just convenient because they're right there on the border, and it's less of a drive. But I mean, when you're putting everything on the line, cross your T's, homie. Where is Jedediah? And peekaboo! What exactly is the family relation to each other? Specifically Thomas. Jumping ahead just a little bit because I'm not going to cover Jedediah in the next movie. I might as well just do it here. Because he should be present in this film. Jedediah is often labeled as the grandson of Luda May. Grandma! And the brother of Leatherface. And Sheriff Hoyt's son. But there's only a 4-year gap between these films. Given his age, again, he should be present. Given the fact that he's not, my only guess is that Jedediah came from one of the victims and they took him in, much like they did Leatherface. Now let's go back to Leatherface for a second. In this film, they call Leatherface Charlie's nephew.
That tarded nephew of yours killed a man.
But Luda May found and adopted Thomas at birth, making him her son. Charlie repeatedly calls Luda May Mama.
No, it's Mama's house.
Which would make Thomas his younger brother. So maybe Hoyt doesn't accept him fully as a true brother because they're not biologically brothers? Or is it true about what Chrissy said?
You guys fuck all your cousins or just the ones you find attractive?
Ruh-roh, Raggy. I don't know, that situation is kind of weird. The whole family tree is kind of weird. Like, as far as the movie canon goes, Charlie's father, there's no lore. He's basically a ghost. There's no lore whatsoever on him. Now, that would be a pretty neat character to add to this edition, because Charlie's a pretty sinister character. I can only imagine what his father was like. So what do you think? Is Thomas the younger brother? Is nephew literal? Is it a term of endearment? Is it a nickname? Did they go full wrong turn and hills have eyes and they're all, kaboinking each other? Oh my God, that's so sick. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. That's going to wrap this video up, guys. Thank you so much for taking part of your day to kick it with me. I appreciate it. The next 10 things will be the 2003 remake. If you have any theories, feel free to drop it in the Discord. Discord is absolutely free, just a hangout spot. Come talk some shit. But if you have a theory that I really like, I'll credit you in a video. I also have a YouTube membership where you get early access to all my videos. And members only videos. So until then, love you all. Adios.